Hi. When you design an object in Fusion 360, there are some values that you use multiple times. If later on you want to change these values, you have to go through your design and find each and every place where you use the particular value and change it one by one. To avoid this, you can use user parameters. So what are user parameters? They are basically named values, and you can use the name instead of the value in your design. And later, when you want to change the value, you just have to go and change the parameter. So you change the value in one place and it will be automatically used every place where you use the parameter. So to demonstrate this, I will create a small box. It will have a shape of a cube and the size will be 20 millimeters. So let's get started. Let's save the project as always. I will call it box. Save. Then right click on the box in the browser and create a new component. Click new component. I will call this one box as well. So this is not absolutely necessary, but it's a good practice to use components. So now you see this box component is active, and I will create a new sketch. So click this icon here and select the XY plane. So I will sketch on the XY plane and I will create a rectangle. So create a rectangle and I select the center rectangle this time. Come to the origin, click and move the mouse to pull it out. I will give it a value other than 20 just to demonstrate how to use the user parameter. So I will type 25, which will be changed to 20 later on. So I type 25, hit tab to type the other one, 25 as well, and hit enter for finishing it up. So you see, I already used this dimension, the 25, 2 times. So this is the size of the rectangle. So I will create a user parameter. So in modify menu and change parameters. It's very last one in this sketch editing. And this will open you this window, parameters. And here in this second row there are user parameters. Click the plus sign and give the parameter a name. So I will call it box size. And the unit is millimeters. You can change it to the unit you like. I will leave it like that, and I will type 20. So this is what I would like to have as the final size of my box. Hit OK. Now you see I have a parameter called box size, 20 millimeters. Hit OK. And here, if I double click the dimension, instead of typing a value, I can type box size. Hit enter, and you see it has changed to 20 because the value of the box size is 20. So I will change the other one same way, box size. Alright, so now we have a 20 by 20 millimeters rectangle. I zoom in a little bit. So I want this to be the overall size of the cube, and I want to have some walls. So this will be a box, and this should take space from the inner side. So I will create a new parameter. Same way, modify menu, change parameters, plus sign, and I will call this wall. So this will be the wall thickness, and I use now 2 as a value, 2 millimeters. Click OK. Now I have a wall parameter, 2 millimeters. Click OK. To create the wall, I will use the offset tool. click this icon here and click on the rectangle, and it will provide you the distance, and I will say this is wall. Okay, so this is 2 millimeters. Hit enter. Now we have outer shape of the box and an inner shape for the cavity, basically. So in between there will be the wall. This is enough for the box. I will finish this sketch, and I will hit this small house icon here. It gives you this view, and I scroll with my mouse to zoom out a little bit. Alright, so now we will extrude the walls. So I hit E for extrude, and I will click anywhere inside the area where I want the wall. Now this is selected, and now we could use the box size as the height, but I want to put a small lid on top of it, which would have the thickness of the wall again, so therefore I will use box size minus the wall. So this will be then 18 millimeters high. Okay, we can check this by the inspect tool, measure, click this two edges, and the distance, you see it's 18 millimeters. Let's close this. Now we have basically only the side walls, so I will make the bottom. In order to do that, I will expand this component and expand the sketch, because when I use the sketch once, the tool made it hidden, so I will enable the visibility again. So hit this small eye icon here. Now I have the sketch. I will select the inner rectangle, and I will hit E for extrude and wall. So now we are extruding 2 millimeters up, and we join this to the former object. So basically we join it to the walls. I click OK, and now we have a box, and the bottom is 2 millimeters, walls are 2 millimeters. Now I will create a new component for the lid. So I select the whole model on the top, and I create a new component, and I will call this top. Okay, and I will create let's hide the body from the former component. So just click the eye icon in front of the body. I will leave the sketch on for a while, and I want to have the top view, so I click the top from here. Alright, so now this top component is selected. I will create a new sketch for the top, and I try to select here the XY plane again. Okay, and remember this is the former sketch from the box, and I will project these edges because I want to reuse them in the top. So I will hit P for project, and I select all the edges that I need. Okay, so I selected these 8 edges, and I click OK. Now you see all the edges and vertices which are projected, they are having this purple color. Now how I want to make this lid is, so I want to make this lid so that I would extrude the whole thing 2 millimeters, so it will be 2 millimeters thick, and I would extrude the inner part a little bit further, another 2 millimeters, and this would go into the cavity of the box. But if I would do it like this, as it is, then this rectangle is exactly the same size what we used for the cavity. And if I print this on my 3D printer, it most probably won't fit because of the tolerances of the printer. Therefore, I need a very tiny gap here, so I would need to make this rectangle a bit smaller. Therefore, I would introduce a new parameter, modify, change parameters, plus sign again, and I will call this tolerance. And I will use 0.2 millimeters. The tolerance. This is a good value for my printer. Now, if the lid doesn't fit with this value, later on you can change it to a higher value, so it will give a larger gap. Or if it's not, if it's loose, then you can decrease this value and it will make a tighter fit. I will use now 0.2. Okay, okay. And again, I will use the offset tool and I select these edges for the inner rectangle. And as the value, I will use tolerance, which is 0.2 millimeters. So now you see we created a rectangle which is 0.2 millimeters away from the rectangle that was used for the cavity. Okay, let's finish this sketch. And again, I will use this view and zoom out a little bit. Now first I will extrude the whole thing 2 millimeters. So I select everything with this kind of just dragging out this selection. Everything is selected and I will say extrude, hit E, and I will use the value wall. So this will extrude 2 millimeters up. Hit enter. Fine. Now I will expand this in the browser view. Okay, and I will hide the body for a moment by clicking the eye, and then I will select the inner rectangle, only that one, and extrude again. Now I will enable the visibility of the body, and I will start from the object. So start from object and select the upper face of this object. So we will start extruding from that level, and I will give a value wall here. So this will extrude another 2 millimeters, but this time only the inner part. Operation is a join. Okay, and we have a lid. Now at this point we could print this and we would have a box, but I like to make this a bit nicer by using some chamfers or fillets, whatever you like. So I will select the chamfer tool here, so modify menu, chamfer. Alright, and I select this face, so this will put a chamfer on each edge on this face. I will use the cube to rotate the object and shift click the bottom face. So now 2 faces are selected, which will include 8 edges. And I will also include these short side edges here, all 4 of them. Okay, now all the edges I would like to have a chamfer is selected, and I will use a value 0.5 here. Hit OK. Alright, now I would like to use the same chamfer on the other component. So let's create a parameter for this, change parameters, and I will add a new parameter called chamfer, and the value is 0.5 millimeters. Okay, okay, and now here in the history I double click the chamfer and I will change this value to chamfer. So now this was a good example how you do it if you forgot to do it. So you go back and you just change. Now this is using the chamfer parameter. Alright, so we have the lid ready, and let's save this just for make sure that we don't lose it. And then I come back to the box. So I will select the box, and here I will use this radio button to make this active, and I will unhide this body here. Alright, I can hide the lid. Okay, and I will use again this tool just to make a nice view on it, so we can rotate with the cube. Okay, and I will use the chamfer on the bottom. So again, modify and chamfer, select the bottom face, and I will select the vertical edges on the side. So I'm just shift clicking these edges. Alright, rotate with the cube, shift click this edge. Okay, now I will not select these ones because this is where the lid and this box will meet. So I want these to be sharp both on the lid and here, so they will have a perfect match without a gap. And I will call this chamfer. There you go. So now we have the object. I hide the sketch so you can see it a bit better. And that's it. So here we have the box, and we also designed the lid for it, and we used some tolerances, and we can change the size of the box. Now just for demonstration, if you want to have a box that is 30 millimeters, you come here, modify, change parameters, and you just change the box size to 30. Okay, and tada, we have a 30 millimeters box. You didn't have to go back to change all the values which are 20 which were 20 to 30 in order to get the bigger box. Now I change it back to 20. Before that, I will show you that this not only changed this, but of course it changed the lid as well. So if I hide this, you see the top is also changed. So everywhere where I have used this parameter, everything is changed. Okay, so let's get back to the box. Let's hide this one. Okay, and save. Now all we have to do is export these components as STL files and print it, and I will just show you the box when it's ready. So if just in case if you don't know that, you can right click the component and hit save as STL, and this will export the component as an STL file, and I will do that for both the box and the top. Then I will load the STL files to my slicer, generate the G-code, and print it on my 3D printer. So see you when the box is ready. Alright, so here is the printed cube and the lid. As you can see, they match perfectly. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If so, please click the like button, consider to subscribe, leave your comments. See you next time.